So today is the end, and I scheduled it for Saturday, but Saturday we're busy, so we're starting our hot peppers today, and we're gonna do our onions as well. So this is like my book, like I showed you before. I may change this up. And I have my green stock, my home, and what we're gonna do at the farm. And all the calendars so I know when I planted, when it's time to harvest. Because that was a problem last year. I wasn't very good. I had good intentions in the beginning, but the execution wasn't good. So I want to put, there's notes sections in the back. I want to write what I grew. So I'm gonna be planting Tabasco. So I'm gonna write Tabasco peppers, the date I started it, and the days I started it, and the company I got it from. Because if I like it, I know where I purchased it from. So I'm just gonna write Tabasco. I started it today, which is the 27th. Because that way I know for next year, do I need to start it earlier? Was it too early? I need to start it later, so I can always reflect back. And I will update these at the end of the season to give my thoughts. So Tabasco, February 27th, I started it, and I got it from M.I. Gardener. So I wrote there, Tabasco, February 27th, M.I. Gardener. And then beside it, I'll write what my thoughts were for next year. It is seed starting time. So I've wet this soil. Have you noticed there's so much like barky bits in the soil bags these days? Which is kind of upsetting because you pay per like whatever the liters or of soil that you get, or pounds, or however it's measured. But wood, like this is huge. This is the size of like my pinky. That puts weight, so you're actually getting less. So I wonder if they do that so you pay more for less product. With everything now these days, shrinkflation. So anyhow, I'm just going to reuse some of these containers that I had from last year. These are just deli containers. I got an old Tupperware that I'm gonna continue to use. I will up-pot these afterwards. A nursery pot. I'm just gonna do like a bulk sowing, and then I will up-pot them after, because I don't want to fill a bunch of cells and then some don't germinate. So I'm gonna start with onions. So the onions will go on these because the onion roots get really long. And they'll stay in this till it's time to plant them. So let's start with this. I kind of want to push it up the sides a little, because last year I had onion seeds go down the side. So this way I can ensure they kind of stay where I want them to be. You know, I'm a nurse when you have medical gloves. Anyhow, I'm going to plant these onions. They're called Red Florence. And it says 8 to 10 weeks out, which that's where we're about. We're about 12 weeks. So last year I did them at the 8 weeks and they weren't ready yet. So I'm gonna do them a little bit early. Now I have shaky hands, so this is gonna be challenging for me. Now, these seeds are from last year. So I'm just gonna put this on top so I remember, so when I label. I'm not done with that yet. So I put the whole pack because I don't know, I think they're like carrots where the longer the seed, they're meant to be sown for that year. So I don't know what the germination is gonna be. Last year I planted a brand new pack and the germination was poor. So I don't know if it's just, I'm not a professional gardener. I'm just a hobby gardener. So don't take what I do as like advice. I'm just going by learning experience. There's a saying that I heard someone say that you aren't born with a green thumb. Oh, what's the saying now? Now I forgot. Something about you're not born with a green thumb. You earn a green thumb. So gardening is about trying something and learning from your successes and learning from your failures, and then just keep going. And then the following year you get better and you get better and you get better, but there's always something to learn. So if you feel like you're not a good gardener, it just means that you need to keep trying. Try and fail, try and fail. So, like, for example, the onion seeds, I left space around the edge and the onion seeds kind of went down the sides. And they didn't really grow that well. So this year I'm pressing the soil against the edge so that the seeds kind of stay in the center. Not a green thumb. I just learned from my previous experience. So I want you to take that. Don't feel bad if something doesn't turn out, because it's something that you learned that you'll change for the following gardening year. Next one I'm gonna do, so I did a red one and I wanna do this white one. It's called Candy Onion. Again, I'm just gonna put the whole pack because it's an older pack. And if they get too close where they're not gonna like grow well, I will thin them out because I don't need how many onion seeds are even in here. It doesn't say. But sometimes some packs have like 200 onion seeds in a pack. I don't need that many onions. And I've already saved these already. So, and I still have more onions in there, so I'm just gonna use this pack. Okay, so there we go. So we got the candy onion and we got the red onion. That's good for onions. Next up, I want to do leeks. We're gonna do some leeks. Well, I'm gonna tell you where I got these from. So this is from Mackenzie Seeds, these onions. If you're in Canada, Mackenzie all their products are guaranteed to grow here. Because when you buy seeds from other places, because the original plant where the seeds came from were from a different climate, they may not grow well in your climate until you save seeds from that particular plant and then save it for the next year so it's adapted to your climate. So that's why I like Mackenzie seeds. I do like their seeds. I also like to support smaller seed companies as well. So this is from the Caribou Seed Company. And these giant Musselburgh leeks. These are from Eco Seed Bank in Montreal, Canada. I need some more soil. So what I'm working at, I'm just using what I have. You don't need to always buy fancy stuff. I do have from my first year gardening all the fancy things. But as I grow more, I'm realizing you don't really need these fancy things. I'm sure our great grandfathers and grandparents didn't have fancy pots and things. They probably just used what they had. So this one is for the leeks. I'm not gardening to store, like winter storage. I'm gardening to just enjoy. Any bulk buying that I do, I purchase it at markets and things and farmers and that sort of thing for winter storage. So for example, I'll buy a sack of onions to, at the end of the season, a sack of carrots, sack of beets, and use those to do my preserving. But this is just for fresh eating. All right, so next up, we are going to do these Utah leeks. It says 10 to 12 weeks before, so this is perfect timing. Oh boy, these are super tiny. I don't know if I can show you that you'll be able to see. See right there? Super, super, super tiny. I don't know how many will germinate, but there we go. Okay, so next we are going to, I'm gonna do my flowers and herbs a different day. Next, I'm gonna do hot peppers because I need to start these early. These are my favorite Santa Fe ones. I grew them last year and they came out beautifully. So what I'm going to do, again, as, what is this called? Multi-sowing. What I'm going to do again is multi-sowing, so that way I can pick out the strongest plants and then up pop them to another container where they will grow for the season. This one is the Santa Fe Grande from M.I. Gardner. I'm gonna just use one of these cups. I got a takeout spoon that I'm gonna make little holes with. And I think I'm gonna make 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1 in the center, 7. So out of these 7, hopefully 1 will grow. And I usually grow multiple of each plant because, so I'll probably grow 3 of these to maturity if they make it, because it's funny that not all of them make it to the end. So it may look like I'm growing hundreds of plants, but they don't all make it. And I give away some. And the ones that do make it, I give away. I think I got all 7. Yes. So the rest I'll put in here. Oops. I dropped one somewhere. Oh well. Okay, so that's Santa Fe Grande. And I'm just gonna, oh, there it is. I'm just gonna pop it in there. And I'm just gonna bury these in the soil. Now you only bury the seed twice as deep as the width of the seed. So these pepper seeds don't need to go too deep. And I will grow them in here till they get a true set of leaves, and then I will up pop them to something else. So I'm just gonna put this here. That's Santa Fe Grande. I'll label them after, because last year when I labeled as I went, I made a disaster because my hands were dirty and it made a mess. So again, learning from experience. This one is my late father-in-law's pepper seeds. So I want to grow that because I make the hot pepper oil. If you haven't seen my hot pepper oil video, it's on my channel. I'll link it so you can watch it. You can prepare for next year. But I'll do an updated one because that was one of my beginning videos, so it's probably not that great. As we do more, we learn more and you get better. No one ever comes out of the womb running, right? So you gotta learn to crawl before you walk, and you gotta learn to walk before you run. Keeping the legacy alive. So I'm gonna put 1 in each. These are prolific, so I don't need that many plants. And I need to start my pepper seeds earlier because I have a shorter growing season. So my peppers, they grow, but they never reach full maturity. They're just like all green peppers. So I learned that if I start them a little bit earlier, because my father-in-law, he was an avid gardener. His peppers always came to maturity, and he always started his February, Valentine's Day. He passed away on Valentine's Day a couple of years ago. and he had already just planted his seeds, and he didn't have a grow mat. He just did them like this, and they germinated on their own. I have a grow mat, so it'll germinate quicker. So it's the end of last week of February, so I think that's plenty of time. We'll see this growing season. If it's still not plenty of time, or I just get about there, I might start them sooner. But I'm just going on the basis is he didn't have a growing mat, and it can take twice as long for seeds to germinate. They will, but it takes longer without a growing mat. And I use a growing mat, so it should be a lot quicker. So I should be okay. Next up are a pepperoncini. I want to pickle these. These are those, if you don't know what pepperoncini are, and you've been to the Olive Garden, you know those pickled peppers that they put in the salad? That's what these are. And I love these in a sandwich. I love them on eating with salad. I will just pop them out of the pickle jar. I don't like hot peppers, so these are not too hot for me. I wonder what the SHUs on these are. Oh, 100 to 500 on the Scoville. I think a jalapeno begins at 1,000 or 1,500, so they're perfect for me. They're a little hot, well, for me anyway, because I'm a heat wimp. I'm gonna try to save more seeds this year so that they grow better in my climate. Oh, I'm missing a hole. I'm gonna show you how to do it as well, because your plants can cross-pollinate. So if you want to save seeds, you have to try to prevent that from happening. I wonder the Santa Fe Grande, what the Scoville's on it. If it says, it doesn't say, but I think they're in the same range as the pepperoncini, because they do have a little tickle of heat, but I can eat them, and jalapenos are too hot for me. So if you're a hot pepper wimp like me, the pepperoncinis and the Santa Fe Grande are a perfect heat level. All right, so that's this one, pepperoncinis. Next up, this is new to me. This doesn't say, but I'll put a picture up. These are called Petite Marseille pepper. This is a sunset orange sweet pepper from the south of France. Delicate walls and the mildest hint of heat, and perfectly manageable size for adding to a saute. So this sounds like my heat level. So I'm gonna do these. These, oh, I thought this was empty. No, there's seeds in here. I think that's enough. There we go. Petite Marseille are done. Next up are the ají amarillo peppers. These are Peruvian peppers. I have a cousin that's from Peru, so I'm gonna try to grow these for him. This plant made tons of peppers. It's hot, sweet, and fruity. And you can dry these and make these into a powder, it says on the back. It says, when it's dried, it's called ají mirasol. So these made tons of peppers, but they didn't ripen in time. I think I showed it in a video. They were green. So I'm gonna start these sooner and in hopes that these will ripen. I think I'm going to also put these in a container. That way, if they don't ripen, because this is a Peruvian pepper, so our climate is very different than Peru. So that way, if they don't ripen, I can bring the pot inside and finish the ripening process. I think it needed a couple more weeks, but in my climate, I just didn't have the time. So that's the ahi. Next up, I really enjoyed this last year. This is the Tabasco pepper. So we're going to do this again. Now, I think I'm just gonna put the rest of the pack because I did grow this last year. Now these Tabasco peppers from M.I. Gardener, it says a super hot pepper, great for those that dream of making their own hot sauce. That's precisely what I did with these. Or adding a daring kick to their dishes. A uniquely smoky flavor makes Tabascos one of the most popular peppers in the world. Plants produce high yields of tiny orange, yellow peppers that pack a kick, perfect in a small container garden due to the petite size of the plant. Yes, it was a small plant, so this is good for like a pot. I liked this. It is hot. Last year we preserved you know, like that dipping sauce, the sweet chili, Thai chili dipping sauce. We used Thai chilies that my niece grew in her garden, but they were so hot. That dipping sauce is killer hot. Well, for me, my husband loves heat. He says it's hot, but he loves it. It's so good, he says. So this year, what I want to do is make that that chili dipping sauce, but I want to change the peppers and I want to use Tabasco peppers instead, because Tabasco peppers are hot, but they're not as hot as Thai chilies. Thai chilies are hot. So we'll change these for the Thai chilies. And I'll show you how to make it. It's really easy. Delicious too. There. So once these come up with their true set of leaves, I will pot these. Now I am hesitant in growing on the habanada. If you saw my garden tour last year, I didn't enjoy it at all. I didn't find it spectacular. Yes, it was sweet, but I didn't see the purpose of it. It was more of a novelty than anything. It was fruity, but snacking peppers just tasted better to me. I didn't find anything. If I was gonna cook with it, I would have chosen a different type of sweet pepper. So I don't know if I want to grow this. I kind of want to do this for the farm so my nieces could try it. I think they would have fun, like a kick out of it. So I'm kind of torn. I may start these, I may not. So that's it for today's planting. I will be doing a few more plantings throughout. So I'm going to do my flowers and herbs in a separate video because there's going to be quite a few of those. But in the meantime, I'm going to take these gloves off. I'm going to label these and then put them on the heat mat. So see you next time. Happy gardening. Hi everyone, welcome to Garden and Grub. Today we're utilizing the frozen broccoli that I grew in my garden this year, and I'm going to show you how to make this pasta. It's a misconception that Italians always have sauce on their pasta. In actuality, we only have sauce once a week, and that's on Sundays. So I'm going to show you how to make this easy supper. It's got your protein, there's beans in it, your vegetable, and your carbohydrate. If you want to have a side with it, I actually made some fried pork chops to go with it. So stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how I make this. Okay friends, so we're going to begin by adding a little bit of olive oil to a saucepan. We're going to add in some celery. This is frozen celery from my garden. And some onion. If you have fresh, go ahead and use fresh. But I just got some frozen vegetables that I would like to use up that I grew in my garden this summer. So now you're going to take a can of white beans. These are cannellini beans, but you can use white kidney beans or whatever, Romano beans, whatever beans that you'd like to use. We're just going to saute that and warm those beans through. Now I'm going to add some garlic powder. I didn't put chopped garlic. Feel free to do that. I put some salt and pepper in as well. My family doesn't like chunks and bits of garlic, so this isn't cooked down enough for it to soften, so I use powdered. Now I added some chicken bouillon just mixed with water. If you have stock, go ahead and use that. I'm going to put a spoonful of pesto. Feel free to just use basil if that's what you have, but I have pesto, so I'm going to use that. Next, once your water is boiling, I'm going to add in my pasta. I'm using the rotini pasta because of the corkscrew shape. It's going to hold on to the sauce much better. So this is the frozen broccoli that I grew, and I've been just taking it out as I use it. So this is just broccoli. You can use fresh if you have it. You're going to add it to the last 5 minutes of your pasta's cooking time. That way it doesn't turn into a giant mush. So you're going to scoop out some of your pasta water and you're going to add that to the beans because the pasta water has starch in it. So it's going to thicken it slightly, and you'll see how the starch does thicken it up. So give it a stir in. I'm trying to do this with one hand, so hopefully the pan doesn't move too much. But that is basically our pasta sauce. So once it's done, you're going to add, when your pasta is done, you're going to add it to the beans. Now you can see how the broccoli is still intact. That's why you add it the last 5 minutes. Give that a stir to give it a good mix. While it's simmering, the pasta will absorb some of the liquid. Now you're just going to scoop it into your plate. It's a very hearty and flavorful dish, very simple to do, and full of wholesome ingredients. I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese on top. So this bean sauce is actually made while your pasta water is boiling. So by the time your pasta's done, this is done. And then a drizzle of olive oil on the top of the pasta. And don't forget to sprinkle some black pepper. If you like it spicy, you can use red chili pepper. So there you have it. There is supper. It is delicious. It's hearty. A family favorite. Don't forget the bread to scoop up that sauce on the bottom of your plate. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for cooking with me. I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much, friends. Have a wonderful day.